Under Python, the arrays are considered or defined in the terms of list. So we can define array or declare array within a method by using this syntax. It is none other than we will be adding an element at the end of that array. This extent is utilized to add multiple elements at the end of the array, correct? Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this third session that's under Unit 1 and we are dealing with Python programming. Yes, this is an updated syllabus according to SEP with respect to MYSURU University. Over here, my name is Deepa Kutnikar. I'm working as an assistant professor under Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Let's see, what is the agenda of today's session? In today's session, we will be discussing what is an array, that is each and every bit with respect to arrays, that is array definition, what is the syntax to write an array, followed by what are the different methods that is used with respect to arrays, as well as accessing elements of array. So these are the things that we discuss in our today's session. So let's move forward and understand one by one, what is an array. So this is a definition of an array, that is array is a collection of elements of same data types that is stored in contiguous memory locations. Contiguous in the sense shared memory locations. If we consider this figure over here, we can observe there is a collection of elements of same data types. So even here we have considered the numbers and here also we have considered the numbers. Now this collection of elements are collected and stored where it is stored in some memory location, correct? And that is what an array is all about. Now next question comes, like in Python, how the arrays are defined. So under Python, the arrays are considered or defined in the terms of list or either in the array module. So this is a main point to note. Under Python, the arrays are implemented using either the list or the array modules. So this is a definition as well as a implementation secret of an array. So this is very simple but very useful whenever we want to write a code. As we did understood what is the definition of array, now let's move forward and understand what is the syntax of an array. So let's move with the array syntax. As we know, arrays are declared using list, correct? So now we are defining an array, that is my underscore array, a set of numbers. Whenever there are numbers more than a list, then we can consider those examples under module. So up next, let's see the syntax for declaration of array, that's by using array module. So now we are calling a import function, that is import array. What is the syntax? That is my underscore array, any word underscore array. You can observe here we have considered a type, that is a array, followed by the name of the array that we have defined. So under module we have considered the array has a same thing, that is array with the name, and followed by the declaration part where we have considered I of, then followed by a simple list. So these are the number, and over here this is a declaration format for array method. So we can define array or declare array within a method by using this syntax. Now let's come this side and understand this in a better way. So we have a simple example, that is a array declaration, correct? So now we can see the syntax in a clear way. So first, initially we have to consider which is a data type that we are considering, followed by a simple array name. Then we have to write the size of an array inside the square brackets. So this is a complete declaration statement for a simple array, that's by using a list. Whenever you are considering a method, it is almost same, but initially you have to add or append an import option. So this is the only difference between a list as well as a method that we use to declare the arrays. As we understood what is a definition as well as a syntax, now let's move forward and understand like how to access an array. If we need any of the information from that array, how to pick that. So let's move forward and understand under this accessing elements of an array. Typically, it is very easy as we have considered indexing. So array, the elements can be accessed using their index values. So what is this index value? You might know this. If we want to define any points, then we will be writing it either in a numbering form or in a Roman letters or ABCD, because it forms a point numbers, correct? In the same way, the index is also considered. Now we have to understand which is the starting point of that index. The starting point is none other than a 0. Next point to understand is, does the indexing stops at 0 or is there any negative indexing too? Yes, absolutely. There is a negative indexing too, but it starts from minus. If we consider we have minus 5 numbers, okay? So minus fifth is not the last element. The last element will be the minus 1. Okay, so that is the main reference to understand and note here. The last element of an index will be of minus 1th index position. So let's consider an example. So this is a 0 and minus 1. Now let's say we have some elements under 0. Okay, it is none other than 1 comma 2, followed by under minus 1 we have some element that is 3, and under minus 2 we have an element 4 comma 5. Great. Now its main thing to understand that if I have to deal with my last element, then my last element will be minus 1, not this minus 2. Okay, so the last element under this example after 0 is none other than a 3. This is how we can define a negative indexing. Now let's consider an example to define this accessing of elements. So initially we have considered an my underscore array with few elements, that is a list of numbers that's starting from 1 to 5. So this is a simple example and we have indexed it. The indexing can be considered in this way like 0, 1, 2, 3, followed by minus 1 comma minus 2. Now with respect to this list, we have to access. If I want to access 0th index value, then what is the keyword or the syntax we will be using? It is none other than print of my array of which position, of 0th position, right? So we have to write the position here followed by a simple braces. So what will be the output? The output will be the value of 0th index position, that is none other than 1. Now we will be considering a index value of minus 1. So we have to write the same syntax, that is print of the array name, that is my underscore array, but we have to write the index, that is minus 1. As we know what will be the output for this, it is none other than a minus 1th index value, it is 5. So the output will be 5. So this is how we will be considering a negative indexing with respect to accessing of arrays. Now let's move forward and see what is a method that is related to array. So as we know, methods are simple functions that operates on arrays with respect to manipulating, modifying their elements. So it is a simple method, but it will be more effective. So now let's move forward and understand how to define that method. The first method that we can consider is a append. So as the name itself says, we will be adding, but the main thing to understand is we will add the element where? Is it at starting, ending or middle? How is it? So it is none other than we will be adding an element at the end of that array. Next one is extend. Second one is extend. By using this, we can add multiple elements to the end of an array. So whenever there are multiple elements that has to be appended, so we can't go with the append itself. So at that time we will be going with the extend of, so that we can add multiple elements in a single go at the end of that array. Next method is none other than insert. As the name itself specifies, we will be inserting an element. But at which position? We can add the elements at any specific positions. So that is a method that is used or utilized in order to insert any elements. The next method that we can utilize is none other than remove. Adding this method, it removes the first occurrence of that array. So that's a remove. Next one is a pop. This method will be responsible in order to remove or add the element at any specified positions. Next one is a index. By using this index of method, it is responsible to index the first occurrence of the element. Next is none other than a count of. So this is responsible for returning the number of occurrence of an element. So these are the different methods that we can utilize inside our program to consider any manipulations or modifications of the program. So this is a array method. Alright, now let's move forward and see the syntax for these array methods. So this is a simple examples of syntaxes that we can consider in order to append, insert, extend, pop or count the different array values. So let's see one by one, like what is the syntax for first one, that is none other than append. So we have to define the data type first. The data type is none other than an array. Array dot, what is the method that we are utilizing? It is append, followed by the element, which element has to be appended. Next syntax is for extend. So again we have to write the data type. Okay, it is array dot extend the method, followed by the iterable. So as we know, this extend is utilized to add multiple elements at the end of the array, correct? So it has to specify like what is the multiple numbers that has to be appended. For example, I have to append from 5 to 10. So that is the iteration that I will be providing here. Great. Next, let's see the syntax for insert. Again, we have to define the data type followed by the method. So array dot insert with respect to index. So we have to specify the index value and which is the element that has to be appended in that position. So this is for insert. Next, let's see the simple syntax for remove. Again, we will be going with a data type, that is array dot remove, that is a method, followed by which element that has to be removed. So we have to specify these things. Next, the syntax for pop. Again, it's the same thing. We have to go with the data type followed by the method pop, and we have to specify the index position. Next one is a indexing. So again, the data type dot the method, that is index, followed by the element. So which is the element that has to be indexed. So these are the things that we have to specify. Next is the syntax for count. Again, we have to go with a data type, that is array dot, followed by a method. The method what we are using here is a count. So what has to be mentioned in order to count? The elements has to be mentioned. So this is a simple example to go with a syntax of different methods. This was all about Unit 1, and in the next session we will be discussing Unit 2, and Unit 2 is all about Python functions. Thus, we have completed Unit 1 and we will be meeting you up in Unit 2. Till then, thank you.